What is good, YouTube? It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna just get into this. Um, okay, I kind of want to make this video about basically my views on the sneaker world, sneaker game, whatever you want to call it, today, and where I see it going, and kind of my outlook on things, the current landscape, I guess you could say. Hopefully, this video won't be too long. There's three major topics I want to touch on. And I do still plan on doing that interview. I've just been swamped beyond belief. I'm studying for the bar like it's an everyday thing, 8-9 hours a day. So it's been pretty hectic, but yeah, I just figured I was getting a buildup of topics I wanted to discuss, so I figured I'd put them all in one little video here and talk about them. The first topic I want to talk about is basically where I see my collecting going, kind of just the general landscape of the sneaker world in general. And for me, I really don't see myself getting any new releases really anytime soon. The only one that I'm considering is the all red fours, Jordan fours. I basically feel like it's getting to the point where every release, there's so many of the shoes produced that I'm always seeing someone rocking the shoe, and even if nobody is rocking the shoe, it's just, to me, it's one of those things where people say that they don't want shoes to be limited. They want everybody to have them, and I'm even guilty of that in the past. But I feel like at the same time, everybody also wants to keep their sense of individuality. So it's kind of hard to keep that individuality when 500,000 other people are wearing the same shoe as you. And it's kind of like, I really like the Grape 5s, and I even kind of like the black Grape 5s, but it's basically getting to the point where I'm getting fatigued almost, because I feel like there have been so many pictures of the shoes, so many people reviewing them, so much, and it's just like, it's just killing everything that I love, basically. Really, the only two shoes I've bought this year are these, because I mean, Iverson is probably my second or third all-time favorite shoe, the Questions, and really this was a lot more limited than people think, so I don't see too many people wearing these. I've never seen anybody wearing them, actually, and these ones too, just because I know that they're also pretty limited as well, and it's just a sick shoe. But just like the He Got Game 13s, the black and red 13s, the grapes, the black grapes, all those were shoes that I really liked. Like, the He Got Game 13s were a childhood shoe of mine, but just like I said, I've been getting so fatigued by the number of pictures and whatnot that I've been seeing online, the number of people that I see wearing them. And for example, I went to the movies this past weekend, and I don't know if this is everywhere in the world or everywhere in the U.S., but in Chicago anyway, you go to the movies on a weekend, a Friday or Saturday, you can guarantee everybody's going to be wearing their best kicks. So I saw, literally when I got to the movies, I saw, no kidding, 3 or 4 people wearing Jordan 4s of some kind. I saw South Beach 8s. I saw the 88 3s, the 88 Jordan 3s. But it's all stuff that I've seen within the past few years, 2 or 3 years, if you guys understand what I'm saying. So basically, I'm at this point going to try and focus my shoe collecting on older shoes that not too many people have, but that I still really like. And it's not like I'm going to push myself into it. which is another thing that I almost debated doing a separate video on this, but I feel like a lot of people that have YouTube channels, and I was guilty of this myself at one point, basically almost feel pressured into getting shoes. And I kind of would like to hear your guys' input on that. Any of you guys that have YouTube channels, if you're like, oh man, my subscribers want another video soon, I need to go out and get some shoes. Because at one time I felt that way almost, and I got a couple of shoes that I didn't like that I ended up just selling at later dates, like the the Jordan 11 lows, the all white ones. I really didn't like that shoe, but I was kind of on the fence about it, and just because of the fact that I had a YouTube channel, that pushed me over the fence. So I've been kind of trying to take a step back a little bit. Of course, I still love shoes. If I ever do come across any deals on eBay, I'm definitely going to make sure to scoop them. But I feel like even eBay, it's hard to get any good deals these days because so many people are involved in the sneaker world that all those good deals that I used to get don't slip through the cracks anymore. About the only way that it can happen is if somebody mistitles their auction or something. But that's kind of my thought on the whole oversaturation thing. I mean, the Bread 11s, there are rumors that there was 400,000 or 500,000 of those made, and it's just gotten to the point where I'm kind of looking for something a little bit more unique. Jordan 2s, for example, Jordan 16s, Jordan 15s, just old classic Nike basketball shoes. So if I do come across some of that stuff, I hope to buy them. But that's kind of my thoughts on that. Another thing is, I saw this mentioned in the sneaker chat, was Jordans, the topic of Jordans becoming unpopular at this point, or kind of phasing out. And I know a lot of people had mixed thoughts on this, but as far as my opinion goes, I do think that they will see a decline within the next 2 or 3 years. Now, I don't think it's going to be as bad as Air Force Ones because all Air Force Ones are essentially the same shoe, but I do think that they will start phasing out. Which brings me to another idea of the cyclical relationship of trends. And my prediction, this is just my prediction, guys, is that in 2 to 3 years, Air Force Ones will be in style again. I do predict them becoming in style again, as Jordans may phase out a little bit. Now, you can kind of see this whole cyclical thing going on even in clothing styles, because you look at the picture of Kanye when he was wearing the red Yeezys. He's wearing baggy clothes again. And I know it was a throwback video, but like the Drake No New Friends video, they were going back to the Big Timer Cash Money days. They were all wearing baggy clothes. I see jerseys, baggy clothes, all that stuff making a return sometime soon. That's just my prediction, though. Could be completely wrong, but I think jerseys are already starting to make a little bit of a comeback. You see Wale always wearing them. Drake wears them. Chris Brown. They've slowly, it's not been a full-on trend, but they are slowly starting to creep back into style. Now, it also brings me to the point where everybody looks at Kanye as like this fashion icon, but there was actually an article today in the New York Times talking about his new album, and they asked him about his style and how he viewed it, basically his style within the past 6 to 7 years, and his exact response was kill self, period, kill self, period. So even Kanye realizes that he's made some fashion mistakes in the past. So I think that a lot of us need to stop following some of these guys like Kanye, because he does admit when he's been wrong. But you can see like a lot of the recent trends have been more towards that late 90s style as opposed to the mid 90s, which has been going on for the past year or two. Now, the last kind of mini topic that I want to talk about is the whole fake sneaker thing, and basically my personal thoughts on these sites that make a lot of these what's the word I'm looking for? These sites that sell fake shoes but supposed authentic shoes. DJ Hess Kicks just came out with a really good video on tips to avoid getting some of these high quality fakes. I think that's a good video. I was actually thinking about doing something like that myself, but he obviously beat me to the punch there. But I just want to say that there have been videos that have come out basically explaining that some of these fakes now may be better quality than the real shoes. Some of these fakes may look more legitimate than the real shoes. And it's one of those things too, like some of these shoes may be shoes that are overproduced by the company and sold on the black market. Now, that's all good and fine, and you can like those shoes if you want. I could care less. But from my and just as a word of advice, if a site sells fake shoes but also claims to sell real shoes, excuse me there, I would just avoid it. I would not come within 100 feet of it. That's just my opinion. But basically, my take on it is kind of like a similar take to collecting autographs I had when I was a kid. I have a very, very large memorabilia autograph collection, all that sort of thing. And it was always my personal belief that if I was going to get an autographed item, I wanted to get it from that person personally. So I wanted to go to that person and have them sign that autograph themselves. That way, not only did it create a memory for me, but I 100% knew that autograph was legitimate. Upper Deck, I've seen some autographs they've put out before that I've questioned. I mean, chances are that every one of their autographs is 99.9% authentic, but until you get that shoe directly from the source, you don't know. So to me, most of the shoes that I've ever gotten, besides a few here and there on eBay as steals, I've gone either directly to Foot Locker or Nike.com or the Nike store. Now to me, that is the most surefire way of guaranteeing that shoe is legitimate. And in some cases, when I used to camp out and stuff like that, it would even create memories. But to me, that's the best way to go if you want to assure that the shoe you are getting is authentic. You can do these other things if you're trying to get a deal, if you can't wait to get the shoe before the release date, etc. But to me, it just doesn't give me the same personal feeling as getting the shoe directly from the source. I don't know if that's just my personal thing, but it's just kind of an internal thing, an internal opinion of mine that I just like the shoes to know that they came from Foot Locker or Nike.com or Nike store. I mean, that's just my take on it. That's just my feeling. I'm kind of interested to see how you guys feel about it. I'm interested to see how you feel about everything that I touched on, the oversaturation, Jordan's phasing out, Air Force is coming back in, the cyclical process of fashion, and your take on the whole fake high-grade replica, B-grade, aftermarket, your whole take on that. So that's just my take on a couple topics that I wanted to touch on here. Figured I'd do this video real quick. Well, 14 minutes isn't real quick, so hopefully you stuck with me. Subscribe, rate, comment. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter. Not a Twitter guy, but jpaint06 on both of them. JPAINTE06. As always, guys, peace.